Part of the right, just plot the points A, B and C, okay, so pretty much everybody got that without any exception. So there's A, B is minus 6, 2 here, okay, oops, actually draws, there it is there, and C is 4 minus 4, which is down here. Okay, so we have the shape of a triangle. Next thing goes, it says find the equation of the line AB, okay, so that's A here. And this is B here, minus 6, 2. So when finding the equation of the line, you have two options. You have y equals mx plus c, or you have y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. Basically what you'd be looking to do there, if the slope is easy to get, you can use mx plus c. You can calculate the slope by just looking at it, okay? Would this be an example of where we could just get the slope from looking at the graph? Not really. It's not really on actually you could, yeah. Lads, excuse me, I'll show you now, right? Here's a way. Anybody remember rise over run? Slope of A to B. So to go from A to B, what you have to do? You go down how many?
3.
Down 3 and across. So this is 3 all the way to 6. So you're going across 9, isn't it? Down 3, rise over run. You're not rising at all, you're actually dropping. So you're going down minus 3. And then the run is also minus 9 to the left, okay? So the run is also going to the left. So this is question 4 actually, right? So it's minus 9 to the left, and that'll give you a third, okay? So that's one way you can do it, and then we're going to end up with y equals a third x. Now what's the c value, lads? How would you go about getting the c value of a what does the c value mean? C value is where the line crosses the y-axis, okay? So if you join both points together, where does it cross the y-axis? 4. So that means C is 4. So you're well entitled to try it this way. It's actually probably quicker than the other way, but then again, there's much more that can go wrong with it. Okay? Now the second method, which isn't that method, is to use y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. So in order to use this, we're going to need the slope formula, okay, to find m. The slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here's x1 y1, x2 y2, okay, and just put them in. So we're going to get 2 minus 5 divided by minus 6 minus 3. So we're going to get minus 3 over minus 9. Once again, a third, right? And then we're going to put it into this formula here, okay? So we're going to have y minus 5 equals a third into x minus x1, so x minus 3. Okay? Now if you multiply that out, you can do it two ways. You can multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of the third, or you can just multiply it out and you'll get exactly the same. Remember that one. We'll try to do it the first way. Multiply both sides by 3, so we're going to get 3y minus 15. 3 times a third makes 1. That means it's gone. And then you're just left with x minus 3 over here. Then bring over 3y into 15. So we're going to get 0 equals x minus 3y plus 15 minus 3. And then we're going to get 0 equals x minus 3y plus 12. Is this formula here in the two boxes, are they the same formula?
Yeah.
They're just, if I multiply this one by 3, I'll get 3y, x and 12. And you'll see that it's actually the same formula. Okay? Now, it goes, find the area of the triangle ABC. Okay? So to find the area of the triangle ABC, what we're looking at doing is, Okay, so what we're looking at doing is we're going to just draw out the triangle first. Now what most people forgot to do is the formula you're going to use, you actually have to make sure that you shift one of the points to 0, 0, and we weren't really doing that, okay? So we have this triangle here. Now what you got to do is you got to get a triangle of the same size, okay? The formula we're going to be using is this. A half x1 y2 minus x2 y1. Okay. Now what does these two vertical lines mean? If I said the answer is minus 42 and it has those two vertical lines beside, what's the actual answer? 42. It has to be positive because area can't be negative, so that's what those two lines actually mean. Okay. So what we need to do is, you notice that we have 3 points, and the problem is that it's x1, x2, y2, y1. You only require 2 points. So which point do you not use? Okay, it's whichever point you bring to 0, 0 is the one you don't use. Okay, so how do we send 3, 5 to 0, 0? What do we need to do to the x value? Okay, minus 3 to x and minus 5 to y. So what in effect we're doing is we're moving a down here. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to b now. So take away 3 from x and we get minus 9. Take away 5 from y, you get minus 3. So this one's going to be minus 9 minus 3. I actually can't fit it into the diagram. It was to redraw it, okay? And then finally the last one's going to be take 3 away from 4, we get 1. Take 5 away from minus 4, we get minus 9. Okay? Now which one is my x1, y1 value? Yes, Gavin? Yeah. Next one, okay? Alright. So what we're going to get here is a half x brackets. We're going to call that one x1, y1, and the other one's going to be x2, y2. So what we're going to get is minus 9, y2 being another minus 9, and then minus, it's going to be 3 times, minus 3, sorry, 1 times minus 3, so that's 1, that's minus 3, close bracket. Use your calculator for minus 9, bracket minus 9, so, see here, okay, so minus 9, bracket minus 9, and then take away bracket 1, just overdo the brackets if you have to, because underdoing them means you get it wrong, but if you overdo it you still get it right. Okay, it's 84, so it's going to be half of 84, and half of 84 gets you 42. So the answer for that question was 42. It goes, circle C has a centre P, which is at minus 2, minus 1, and passes through the point 3, 1. Show C and P and Q on the coordinate diagram, okay? So basically, just go dead centre. So it's question 3, Gavin, it's just we reversed them around for some reason in the test. Now, what you're going to do first is you're just going to draw in a couple of numbers just so we know which one's which. Best to go up in 2s, makes it look a bit better. Okay. And here we go, we got 3 everywhere. Okay. Alright. Now that we have done that, alright, we've got to mark our 2 points, okay? It's important that you probably label them as well. So minus 2, minus 1, that there's P. That's the centre of the circle. So P has to be surrounded in a circle by the end of the question. Okay? And then Q is 3, 1, which is this one here. Okay? Now, in this particular, I actually made a very classic mistake here. Do you remember I doubled up on my spaces? I actually haven't left enough space to complete the circle. So you just got to be careful of that. If that does happen to you, you go to the back of the test and you just see you find the clear space and then you just draw it out, okay? But time being, everybody here gets the gist, so we should be alright. Okay, so what you do next, come along with your compass. And you just want to Okay, so you're going to come along here and just do this basically. Yeah, there we go. There you go, that's your circle, okay? Now, next thing I'll ask you is write down the radius of C and hence write down its equation. Now the radius is the gap between P and Q. So if we find out what this line here is, we can basically find out what the radius is. So to find out the radius, you're going to need the distance of a line formula from your maths tables, okay? So it's going to be x2 minus the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And that's going to be x1 y1. And this one here is going to be x2 y2. It's basically just put it in, use brackets. You can overdo them if you want, and then just put it straight into the calculator. Don't allow any mistakes. Okay, so x2 is going to be 3 minus x1. See the way x1's a negative, particularly negative numbers, just put an extra bracket there. Okay, and it'll sort you out. And then y2 is going to be 1 bracket minus 1. Alright, squared, and then just, it's complicated enough, but if you just keep an eye on your, see the way that's in stat mode, you just want to make sure it's always in the correct mode. Okay, so bracket 3 minus, open bracket, minus 2, close bracket, squared, okay, that's the first one done, then 1 minus 1 bracket squared, okay? So that's everything done there. Root 29 is your answer, okay? So that's root 29. Now, all we've done there is found the radius. That's the first part of the question. You haven't gone near the second part of the question, okay? So the second part of the question is you look up the equation of a circle. It says write down its equation. What is C? C is a circle. Find C's equation. Find the equation of a circle. That's what you're thinking when you're looking for your formula, okay? So the formula for this is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. R is root 29. What does h and k stand for? Anybody know? Specifically the centre, okay? So h equals minus 2 and k equals minus 1. Now to get full marks, you don't have to multiply out the brackets or anything. It's just about getting what's inside the brackets correct, okay? So we're going to have here is x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals root 29 squared, okay? Now the trick is, if you want to learn this off by heart, if the centre of the circle is a negative number, if the x value is a negative number, it ends up a positive number in the brackets. Okay? So that'll make the next one y plus 1 squared, and then the last part is 29. Okay? So if there's a negative number, it turns into a positive within the bracket. If it's a positive number, it turns into a negative inside the bracket. Okay? Now, R is the point 1, 6. By finding the slopes of PQ and QR, show that QR is a tangent to C. So we're looking for the point 1, 6. I'm not going to be able to draw it in here, but it looks of it. So 1, 6 would have been pretty much up there. Okay? But what we're looking to do is basically something like this. We're looking to show that this line here is the same, is perpendicular, so it goes 90 degrees to the slope of the radius. Now, there's something you have to do for full marks, okay? Said it a couple of times. When you want to prove that two lines are perpendicular, you have to, M1 stands for the slope of the first line, M2 stands for the slope of the second line. When you get the answer for the first slope and the second slope, you got to multiply them and show they're minus 1. Otherwise, you either lose 2 or 3 marks, depending on the marking scheme. Okay? So, what we're going to do first is just write down P and Q here. So P is minus 2 minus 1 and Q is 3 1. Okay? x1, y1, x2, y2. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the slope formula again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Start off with PQ. So PQ is going to be, that one's P, that one's Q. So PQ is going to be 1 minus minus 1, all divided by 3 minus minus 2. And it ends up to be 1 plus 1 over 3 plus 2. That's going to give you 2/5. What does the other one have to be? Does anybody know the answer to the second one already? Has to be minus 5 over 2. Turn it upside down, change the sign. You already know what you need to get before you even do it. Okay? So we'll see what the next one turns out as. So in this one, Q is still x2, y2. We'll do it in green. x2, y2. And this one here is 1, 6. We'll call that x1, y1. Okay? So now we're doing QR. And QR is going to give us y2 minus y1, so it's going to be 1 minus 6. There's our minus 5 straight away. And 3 minus 1 on the bottom. And we're going to get minus 5 over 2. You're on 8 out of 10. You have to do what I said at the very beginning. You got to write down 2 over 5 minus 5 over 2 equals minus 1. And then you got to write down minus 1 equals minus 1. That shows they're perpendicular, okay? Any questions about that last one? Alright. Gavin, we're starting now. Okay. Kane, we're starting now. Okay. So guys, what you're going to do first and foremost is you're going to just break it up into 5 separate parts, okay? So you measure the distance along the bottom, and then once you've measured the distance along the bottom, what you would have ended up doing was you would have divided up into 5 equal parts. I'm not going to do the ruler part here because everybody knew what they were doing in regards to breaking it up, so there's no point, okay? Now, you can obviously see they're not even, but they should be even, okay? Now, the next part is measure each height. First height, everybody got different things. I'm going to go for 4.3, it was close enough to everybody. Second one I got 5.5. The third one I got 4.8. The fourth one I got 3.3. The fifth one I got 3.6. The last one, because it doesn't go directly up, is a 0. Okay? Now, in your maths tables, okay, there's a very complicated formula. But what the formula will give you is the following. It will give you that this here is this is H1, this is H2, or sorry, it has X, right? H3, height 4, height 5, height 6. Now what I will tell you is to use the first and the last. The first one and the last one, okay? So the H over 2, H in your tables is the width. Now, what was the width in the test? 2.9. But the entire width would have been 14.6, and you divide 14.6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's rounded up to 2.9. Okay, or so 2.9. Okay, so H is 2.9. What you guys remember is it's the first plus the last, and what's the extra part there? 2 times remaining. 2 times remaining means every one that you didn't use. Now, the main mistake was we didn't count the 0 as the last. Okay, that was a very common mistake, alright? So it's going to be 2.9 over 2. Then it's going to be first, which is 4.3 plus 0. Then plus 2 times remaining, which is 5.5 plus 4.8 plus 3.3 plus 3.6. Now, if you aren't too comfortable on the calculator, what I would do is just do this part on its own. And once you've done that part on its own, multiply it by 2.9 over 2. You can do it all in one go. And when you do it all in one go, what I got was 57. Okay, now I have to remember what we're talking about here. So it says 57 centimeters squared. If you got anywhere in that region, like anywhere from maybe like 55 up to 59, you pretty much got full marks. The only difference was I called the first one 4.3, you might have called it 4.4. I might call this 3.6, you call it 3.7. It's actually all the same stuff, okay? So there's no bother there. There's basically a bunch of pictures, right? And what we had was patterns. Now, pattern is another way of saying the n value, okay? And then on the bottom is number of tiles. Now, what we did was we counted write the number of tiles needed for each of the first 5 patterns, okay? So what we had was 1, 2, all the way up to 5, okay? 4 and 5. This is question 5, okay? And so we had 21, 33. We got to count the third pattern, which turned into 45. Now that we've looked at this, we can see that there's a gap of 12 between each one. Made the next one 57, and the one after that 69, okay? Next one is part B. Find in terms of n the formula that gives the number of tiles. It's an arithmetic series. Arithmetic series has the following formula: a plus n minus 1 times d. Now, trick here is, what is the a value?
The first one.
The very first one. It's not the number 1. It's not the n value. It's how much tiles are in the first value. A is 21. D is the distance between each one, which is 12. So we're going to have 21 plus n minus 1 times 12. Multiply the 12 in, and what we're going to get is 21 plus 12n minus 12. And then what we're going to get is Tn equals 12n plus 9. To be fair to most people, they got that. Okay? Part C. Use your formula otherwise, find the number of tiles in the 10th pattern. Well, you can do it one way. If you're not sure about your formula, you can just keep counting up in 12s until you get to the 10th pattern. Some of you did that, it's full marks. Quicker way of doing it is to realise that you're looking for T10. And what this does is it does the counting for you. Okay? So it's going to be 12 times 10 plus 9, 129 tiles. Okay? Once that's done, we're on D. Now, the biggest problem was Sheila has 399 tiles. Okay? And she has 399 tiles. She wants to know, what is the biggest pattern she can make with 399 tiles? The question wasn't how many patterns can she make. Okay? So I'll show you an example of this type of question. If I ask you guys, what is the biggest pattern I can make with 60 tiles? What would you tell me? Which pattern?
4.
Number 4. I could ask you another question is, the other question would be, how many patterns can you make with 60 tiles? You can make the first pattern plus the second pattern, but the third pattern you haven't got enough tiles for. So there's 2 different types of questions, and it's about identifying, is it Tn or Sn? Okay, this formula here, Sheila has 399 tiles. What is the biggest pattern? Not patterns, pattern, just one. That means you're talking about Tn. Tn equals 399. The formula for Tn is 12n plus 9. That equals 399. Bring the 9 over the other side, and we get 12n equals 390. Divided by 12. And when you divide that by 12, you're going to get 32.5. Can anybody in class tell me, why don't you round that up? There's not enough tiles. You have to round down. So it's going to be the 32nd pattern. Okay? Now that's done. We're on E. Okay? Alright. S of n. It goes, find in terms of n a formula for the total number of tiles in the first n patterns. It's plural, patterns. Patterns usually means S of n. Pattern, singular, usually means Tn. So we definitely know this is an Sn. We just need to find the formula. N over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 times d. A still being 21, d still being 12. Okay? Put it into the formula. We're going to get n over 2. 2a is going to be 42. D is 12. Multiply in by 12 and you'll get 12n minus 12. Okay? Then look at your 42 and your 12, and you're going to get 30 plus 12n. Another way around that would have been n over 2 into 12n plus 30. Okay? Now, next thing, you can multiply that in if you want. How would you multiply in n over 2? You divide by 2 and multiply by n. So you divide 12n by 2, you get 6n. 6n multiplied by n, 6n squared. Half of 30, 15. 15 multiplied by n, 15n. So that's your SN formula, okay? Now, the next thing I want you to do is, it goes, Sheila still has her 399 tiles. She wants to know how many patterns she can make, plural. So this is an S of n question. So S of n equals 399. This means that 6n squared plus 15n equals 399. This is a quadratic equation. There's no other way of doing it. Now, with the quadratic equation, you have choices, okay? It's pretty big for the reference number. What would be the safe bet in the test? Minus b is a safe bet. It's longer, but it's safe. Okay, so we'll just go with the minus b this time round. 6, 15, and minus 399. Okay, then write down the minus b formula. Okay, so this would have been the second time in this exam you had to do the minus b. It's very common. Okay, so minus b is minus 15 plus or minus the square root of 15 squared minus 4 times 6 times minus 399. Okay, did anybody do the minus b for this one? No. Okay, so 15 squared minus 4 bracket 6 bracket minus 399, and then you see it turns out to be 99. Okay, so it's minus 15 plus or minus 99 all over, so that's not 199, 99 all over 2 times a, which is 12. What does the 99 mean? Do you know why it's not a decimal? That means that it would have went in evenly. It was possible to do the reference number method. Okay, so what we're going to get is 2 different answers. The first answer we're going to get is it's going to be 84 over 12, which is 7. And the other answer would be a negative number. Are you allowed to have a negative number in this? No, because you can't say there's minus 10 patterns. So only the positive number is what we're looking for.